So please like and subscribe, and go to prophotoedits.com where you can download my Lightroom presets and Photoshop actions. Thank you. So hey guys, yeah, today I just wanted to walk you through this the snow shoot. I know we're about to get a bunch of snow, and on the East Coast anyway, and I just wanted to show you some pitfalls, some things to avoid while you're doing this, and ways to make this run a little bit smoother for you guys. So this is one of the photos that I ended up with from the shoot, and using Z7, Z6, and the FTZ adapter. This is portrait orientation with the 200 f2. It's a humongous lens, but it did the trick for this. I wanted complete separation. So what you have to here's the setup for this particular shot. I just did a background shot. I didn't do any through the lens stuff because the one thing I wanted to talk about is the weather sealing on these cameras, the Z6 and the Z7, is just like my D850. It's stellar. The cameras were soaked. Obviously, it was just snowing incredibly hard, and the cameras were absolutely soaked, and the lenses by the time I was done with the shoot. But saying that, I wasn't going to put my Atomos on top and open up the body and run the HDMI in there. It would have just fried either both or one or the other, so I didn't do that. So I just have some stills here. It was extremely cold. We were setting up here, and as you can see up here, I have my beauty dish on a really sturdy C-stand, and I have my Flashpoint Explorer 600, I think is what it is, and I have the head extension up here, so all the weight's not up here on the top. I recommend that in case the wind blows, all your weight won't be up here, and plus if it falls over, it's not going to break anything. I do this with my 60-inch parabolic soft boxes, everything. You can't really see in the frame, but down here on the bottom of the pole, I have the body of the Flashpoint 600 watt strobe body down here. So if it falls over, which it does occasionally, it's going to happen. All your weight's not up here, and it won't break your strobe. Everything's down here. I've had this thing fall over many a times. Not the beauty dish too much because it's not a big of an object to catch that much wind. But anyway, inside of this beauty dish, the thing you have to remember about shooting outside in the snow is there's no color, right? So you want to pick colors that are going to pop out. So contrast, red lipstick, red and black in the corset, big huge black gown, and a red balloon, right? We're just on a lake down here in the front of my neighborhood, and it was snowing incredibly hard, but I wanted to like this, and I wanted to get the light diffused and far enough away, but not so diffused like a softbox type of look, like a parabolic 60 or 48 or anything. I wanted more of a beauty dish punch. But inside of here, here's your deal. CTO gel, and I'll post the picture of where I get mine from Amazon. I just buy the cheap ones because I don't use them that often, but it'll add some color to the actual strobe light, so you won't have just the, especially when you're dealing with somebody with fair skin and the snow, you want to add a little bit of color back in, so it'll give you more of a warm tone to the person's skin color. Now that's paramount for making these images pop the way they did. And I'll just run through a quick edit for you guys with one of my presets today, because I didn't do a whole bunch to these images. There wasn't a bunch to do, but see how it retained a bunch of the deep color in her skin and everything. I still kept the blues and everything else there from the snow. Another shot, just her looking up at it. I'll just run through one of these edits real quick for you. So straight out of the Z7, here's the raw file, and you can see that she still has the color from the CTO gel on her skin, which made it a lot easier. And just choosing a preset, I chose PPE Toning 11, and after I made a few adjustments to it, just what you have to do with any file, that's where we ended up. So The only real adjustments that I made, this is the 11 PP Tony 11, was I just bring my highlights down as I do in any shot, and bring my shadows up, and just depending on how you shoot, you want to do the same. Brought my whites up to about 36, and my blacks around 3, dehaze up to around 8, vibrance up to around 33, and saturation up to +3, I think maybe 36. And then adjust my exposure, because I tend to shoot underexposed, and even though I was using high speed sync, I only had it at 1/250th of a second, just because it was kind of dark out, and I was at 200 f2, so that makes a big difference. So the rest of the presets doing all the work for you. I put a lot of work into the actual curves, and the curves on each color channel, and the different color scheme I have going on with the hues and the saturation and the luminance on each channel. Really added a big difference. But this is just one of my 75 presets, and I always start with one of my presets since I've been, I created them about 2 years ago is when I started. So I have over 70 now. So let's run this into Photoshop real quick, and I'll just show you a quick way to edit this. So bringing that into Photoshop, the only thing that I'm really going to do here is I'm going to go to PPE Color Pop, and you can see that's going to add a lot more of the deep saturated colors. Contrast Pop, that's going to pop the contrast a bit more. You can adjust that up or down depending on the type of contrast you want in this image. And I would run stage sharpening just to sharpen it completely when you're done. I'm not going to do that now for the sake of time, because that goes on 4 different levels of sharpening. It takes about 15 seconds, but really what you can do right here, let me duplicate my background, is go into liquify, grab your forward warp tool, and just make this gown a little bigger. I'll freeze the hand and everything so I don't stretch your hand, make it look really crazy. But so the forward warp tool and liquify is always your friend whenever you're using big gowns or you want to stretch somebody's hair out. But if I was really using this image, we couldn't cover our tracks in the snow, so I just use the patch tool and get rid of some of these dead areas of snow, and the extra part of the gown on the floor, and then go ahead and use your spot removing tool and get rid of the extra string there on the that was hanging down off the balloon. But that's really all I did. You can go into the hair if you want to, and remove some of the actual snowflakes and stuff like that, and touch up the skin, as you can see in my other videos with all my in-depth skin work. But I just want to run through this real quick since we're so far away on this shot. You probably wouldn't see if I did it or not. So I hope this helps inspire you to do some beautiful snow portraits this weekend or this week whenever we get our snow. And next week I'll be back, and I'll show you a close-up portrait so we can really get in depth on editing with the 105mm, and show you how magical that lens can be and how to step your edits up if you're struggling. All right, thank you guys. Till next week.